What's up, fight fans? This is Counterpunch with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Eddie Hearn and Caleb Plant. Get this, Eddie Hearn says Plant's resume is really, really poor, and he should fight Benavidez before he fights Canelo. Of course, Eddie Hearn understands that the boxing business is such that Caleb Plant probably won't fight again before Canelo Alvarez battles Omni Durham and Billy Joe Saunders. With by far the biggest payday of his career looming, Plant is unlikely to risk his September shot at Alvarez against anyone, let alone David Benavidez. Hearn, of course, his company is Matchroom, will promote Alvarez for at least 2 more fights, but he would still prefer Caleb Plant to challenge himself versus Benavidez. And Eddie Hearn continues, quote, "I think that Caleb Smith is a very talented fighter," Hearn said. He says, "I think he has fantastic feet. He has a high boxing IQ. I like Caleb Truax, as a guy. I think he's a great role model for fighters. I don't feel that they're the kind of fights that's gonna not only prepare Plant for Canelo, but also make the fight big as it should be. We all know that the fight, again, this is if Alvarez beats your Durham. If he beats Billy Joe Saunders, then we'll know that Plant fight will take place in September. I would love to see Caleb Plant have a real fight between Truax and the Alvarez fights." Those are the words of Eddie Hearn. Now, I don't think this was a diss, despite what the title says. Okay, it's basically a promoter speaking or thinking if he would promote Caleb Smith, that's the fight that he would build his profile on. He's only had 21 fights, people, but he's a champion. And he's everything that Eddie Hearn said he was, maybe even better. But at the end of the day, I think he needs to he should be wanting to clean up his side of the street. But if he's thinking business mind, he might not want to get in there with David Benavidez. Not to mention, I think I know he injured his hand or broke it because it was swollen or whatnot, because I think he hurt it in the second round in the Truax fight, because Truax has a hard head. The man is tough. He can go. Okay? He has perseverance. Okay? So he might have caught one on the top of that noggin and hurt or broke his hand. So that may be another layoff. And in fact, if you're Caleb Smith, what would you do? So I can see both sides. Caleb Smith is like, hey, I'm just as good as Canelo right now. I can fight him. I'm the champ. He wants to be undisputed. He has to come through me. But at the end of the day, you still have David Benavidez on that side of the street that those guys have been talking back and forth for the last year. Okay, so, you would hate for something not to be finalized between those two. Counterpunch. But who's to say David Benavidez is out, Caleb Plant is in, and he might not want to give David Benavidez that opportunity, just to get in the ring with him, to give him that opportunity to get where he's at. Because not only it might not be a risk, but, Caleb Smith might not even want to do it just for general principle, So, but of course, this is Eddie Hearn, and it is a guy that wants to see the best fights, and it would be a great fight between Caleb Smith and David Benavidez. But unfortunately, a lot of times, that side of the street don't produce those type of fights because they're worried about business first and the risk and rewards second. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Eddie Hearn saying that Caleb Smith's resume is very, very poor. And I do agree with that too. Counterpunching that. I do agree. Because again, he's only fought Uzcategui, and who else? Caleb Truax. I mean, he's a 37-year-old fighter. You know what I'm saying? Uzcategui is the genuine only person that he's beat that was worth the damn 168, worth shaking a stick at. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Eddie Hearn's comments towards Caleb Smith. Of course, please, or Caleb Plant, sorry. Please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.